Flooding in Brazil. Shops and houses flooded. Heavy rain caused flash flooding in the town of Umuarama, Paraná, in southern Brazil. Torrents of water caused by a 40-minute downpour swept through streets and swept away cars in their path. Stores and homes were flooded. Low-lying areas of the city, which often face flooding, were the most severely affected. No injuries were reported. The bad weather caused a power outage that left businesses out of service for 1 hour. 5,000 homes were de-energized during the storm. 10,000 residents of China's autonomous region affected by floods. Some 50,000 residents in the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region have been hit by floods triggered by heavy rain since May 14. The latest data shows over 3,800 hectares of crops have been damaged. 42 objects in 19 households were destroyed. The rains pounded the east of the area and part of the coastal areas. Rainfall reached 250 millimeters in places. The Meteorological Service upgraded the emergency response level to level 4. Local residents were advised not to enter areas where there was a high risk of landslides, mudslides and other geological disasters. 5 people died and thousands were affected by heavy rains, landslides and flooding in parts of Assam and Meghalaya states in northeastern India. The Assam State Disaster Management Authority reported that heavy rains, floods and landslides affected about 25,000 people in several parts of the state. 3 people were killed in a landslide in Dima Hasao district. The overflowing Barak River flooded vast areas of Kachar district. Some 20,000 people were affected, 70 houses were destroyed and hundreds of houses plus were damaged. Assam Rifles troops conducted flood relief operations and rescued dozens of people from flooded areas of Balachar and Borhul in Kachar district. Large-scale oil spill off the coast of Thailand. Near famous resorts, about 50 tons of oil leaked from an underwater pipeline. According to the Department of Pollution Control in Thailand, the accident occurred in the Gulf of Thailand, 20 kilometers off the coast of Rayong province. The pollution poses a threat to the national park on the island of Koh Samet. Divers discovered a ruptured underwater flexible hose near a floating jetty used to offload oil from tankers. A weak current prevents the oil from drifting to shore, and there has been no information yet about the impact on marine ecosystems and fishing. In 2013, there was also a serious fuel spill in the area, with a large slick forming on the surface of the water. The oil contaminated the beach on Koh Samet, which required a huge amount of cleanup. A female humpback whale nearly 10 meters long was found dead on the coast near Calais in northern France. Experts have noted that this is a rare occurrence on the coast of the Channel. A massive animal weighing 20 to 25 tons would be pulled from the shoreline by tractors to keep it from being carried out to sea by the tide, which is dangerous for boats in a busy shipping lane. The cause of the animal's death is unclear, although experts have suggested that it may have been caused by ignorance of the shallow waters off the northern coast of France. New Mexico wildfire continues to spread north. As howling winds continue to drive the haphazard flames forward, a massive wildfire in New Mexico headed toward a ski resort and the 1,000-year-old village of Taos. Officials warned residents to prepare to flee as the rapidly spreading fire picked up speed. Flames swept through the dried-up forest as people fled and firefighters fought the blaze, which burned a 45-mile route up the Sangre de Cristo Mountains in just over a month. Meanwhile, in Southern California, a wildfire that started on May 11 afternoon swept through homes on coastal cliffs, destroying at least 20 homes, according to fire officials. A gusty ocean breeze fueled the blaze, but it had extinguished by the evening of that day. The fire engulfed about 81 hectares near Niguel Lagoon. Climate change has made even small fires, once easily handled, a significant risk to life and property in the western United States. The governor of New Mexico has warned that there is a high probability of more destruction. The long-term cost of putting out a massive fire, currently the largest in the country, would be enormous. A devastating wildfire in the northern Argentine province of Corrientes has covered 500,000 hectares, or 6% of the region. Due to the drought conditions, the fires have gained rapid momentum, turning the fields into a line of fire that is almost impossible to control. As a precautionary measure, homes and hotels have been evacuated near the provincial capital, located 800 kilometers north of Buenos Aires. The National Meteorological Service predicts little rain over the next few days, with only 5 to 10 millimeters of rain expected. Argentina is experiencing its second consecutive La Niña, a weather phenomenon that usually brings less rain to its central agricultural regions, which are key to the country's exports and foreign exchange earnings. Hurricane-force winds swept across the Midwestern United States late last week, bringing walls of dust to cities and rural towns, causing significant property damage and killing at least 2 people. Residents of Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa and Minnesota were the hardest hit. According to meteorologists and soil scientists, strong winds of up to 47 meters (sec) lifted up the soil layer from the farmland to a considerable height, blocking the sun and plunging settlements into darkness. Witnesses said the wall of dust resembled the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, when winds tore off warehouse roofs and overturned cars on highways. According to authorities, 1 person was killed by a falling tree in South Dakota, and another person died in Minnesota when a grain silo fell on a car. Farmers said fertile topsoil, which is crucial for growing crops, was blown away completely from some fields. According to USDA experts, dry conditions, high winds, and traditional tillage practices caused such a severe dust storm.